With just 2 CDs and a flashlight, you can create beautiful, mesmerizing rainbow patterns. I saw a demonstration that used a single CD and absolutely loved it. Link in the description. I then added a second CD and it blew my mind. I felt like I was being pulled into a vortex of color. I've never seen anything like it. I originally designed this contraption to create psychedelic Alice in Wonderland cat eyes for Halloween, but my kids would rather mask out the bottom of the eyes to create a more spooky face instead. Until Halloween, the device sits on a bookcase and actually gets a lot of interest from our guests. The device makes it easy to swap discs for quick experimentation. A written CD looks different than a blank CD, and even different blank CDs will vary. The mesmerizing patterns are created by simply sliding the light and CDs on the rails. The build uses cheap hardware store materials, but is still robust and precise. The next minute or so shows how the different positions of CDs and lights change the patterns. Look in the bottom right corner to see the picture-in-picture. Make a small slit right at the edge of the CD, and then use some packing tape to remove all the reflective surface. Don't worry if there's a bit of residue or scratching. It's just character of the disc, and it will make for different patterns. You can use rubbing alcohol, but don't overdo it, it'll dampen the colors. You can also use a DVD disc if you carefully split it with a knife. Drill 2 half-inch holes into some 3/4 inch wood pieces. Center the holes 3.5 inches apart. Cut half-inch threaded rod to 18 inches or more, and cut half-inch pecs 2.25 inches less than the threaded rod. Slide and rotate the threaded rod into the pecs. The threaded rod gives strength and precision, while the pecs gives a uniform low-friction surface. Insert the exposed threaded rod into the base plates and fasten with half-inch nuts. If you cut one piece of pecs short, don't worry, just add a washer. Separate a CD case into 3 parts. Cut the bottom case layer to 3 inches wide. I'd recommend a chop saw or utility knife. If you use a chop saw, go real slow and flip the CD around before cutting through the back to prevent splitting. Trim the melted plastic with a knife. Measure and cut 2 pieces of 3/4 inch pecs to 3 inches. These will become the CD sled skis. Mark a half-inch in on both sides. If you can, make your marks alongside printing on the tube to help with aligning your marks and holes later on. Then use a scratch awl or center punch to prepare for drilling with a 1/8 bit. Use a utility knife to cut out the bottom third of the 3/4 inch pecs opposite the drilled holes. Watch for knife slips and trim if needed. Flip the sled ski over and countersink through the pilot holes from the inside. You want to make sure that the screw heads are recessed so that they don't rub on the red pecs rails. Initially, the 3/4 inch pecs will be loose on the rails, but it will tighten up in around 20 minutes or so. Square up the sled skis, then place the sled platform on top. Use a speed square to check that the platform is centered. The rail to platform edge distance should be the same for both sides. Scratch each hole's center onto the platform. Fully support the platform to prevent it from flexing during drilling, because it'll break and shatter into a million pieces and cut your hands. You can oversize the hole if needed. Insert the machine screws into the countersunk holes and tighten on the nuts. Place the skis back onto the rails and then secure the platform onto the rails with more nuts. If the nuts aren't sitting flush, you can insert a rubber band piece as a washer to prevent cracking the platform. Add the CD case top layer back on. Then find 6 inches of 14 gauge common copper house wire. Bend one end into a hook and check that it fits into the preformed CD case slot. Remove it from the slot and then make 2 bends that will transition the copper wire from the outside of the case towards the end nut thingy. Finally, bend an L angle opposite the hook end and trim it so that the L can slide past the nut freely. Cut out a piece of vinyl siding J-channel with a slot. It doesn't need to be vinyl. Any thin, strong material that hot glue sticks to will work. Trim the piece so that it fits alongside the platform lip when the bolt is in the channel. Vinyl should slide freely back and forth. Ensure the hinge is perpendicular to the rails. Move the vinyl a 1/4 inch away from the edge of the platform. This will allow hinge angle adjustment in either direction. Lay out a bead of hot glue over the flat part of the copper onto the vinyl. After about 30 seconds, rotate the copper enough to break free of the hot glue bond. The copper will be held in place, but rotate freely. The copper hook in the preformed slot needs to be restrained. Squirt in some hot glue and rotate the copper wire slightly while the glue dries. This will hold the hook in place, but allow for rotation. Place the CD case middle piece flat and score multiple times around the disc gripper on both the front and back side. Use garbage discs to prevent the case from flexing and cracking while scoring the backside. Use pliers to wiggle and snap along the score lines. Repeat until you have just the circular gripper. Trim any sharp edges with a knife. On the inside of the hinged case piece, tape on a disc where you want it. Then on the case outside, place double-sided tape around the inner circle. Insert the disc gripper into a clear CD, line up with the disc on the other side, and then press the gripper firmly into the 2-sided tape. Take a moment to admire the fine gripper alignment. Repeat the sled making procedure with 1/2 inch or thicker wood this time. Also, drill a small hole in the platform face center. Cut out the additional small pieces that make the flashlight support and hot glue together. Insert a screw with any kind of washer into the platform face hole. Pre-drill 2 holes into the top of the flashlight support and use metal strapping to fasten the flashlight in place. You might need to shim underneath the flashlight. Slide a piece of paper into the CD case art holder tabs. Mark the center and check the flashlight alignment when the sled is moved back and forth. The flashlight support channel cutout allows for vertical and horizontal alignment when rotated.